Unless I'm wrong, this book's cover introduces a new logo. It's the same as the old logo, just tilted slightly to the left. Argofont Book Review, Argofont Book Review. This book was written by Vicky Berger Irwin. Claudia learns about a famous local artist named Grandmother Madden. The New York art critics were so mean to her, she quit painting forever and destroyed her artwork. Claudia can't believe this. No true artist would destroy a painting. She decides the paintings still exist, and today's mystery is finding them. Claudia babysits at the Madden house. She forces 7-year-old Jimmy to take her to the art studio. She is instantly attracted to a Japanese painting.
The painting did have a texture to it, in the background and in the design of the kimono. I ran my finger gently over the surface of it.
Claudia, you shouldn't go up to a painting and touch it with your bare hands. Don't you know anything about art? We know the painting is important because, well, it's on the cover of the book, and because it disappears shortly afterwards. An Asian man shows up at the house. He practically runs away from Claudia. Miss Madden says he's Mr. Ogura, he's an art appraiser, he's totally cool, he can show up whenever he wants, but he acts super suspicious the entire time. He bosses the babysitters around, he messes up their stuff. This guy's a jerk. Oh, I need to explain the babysitter thing. See, Miss Madden is preparing the house for an estate sale. Claudia volunteers the Babysitters Club to help. Why not? They did construction work in the previous mystery. In the subplot, the art museum is making a room for kids. The woman in charge is Mrs. O'Neill. She expects kids to make art using molds and coloring sheets. That sounds perfectly reasonable to me, but the babysitters are angry because that's not creative. Kids should be allowed to draw whatever they want. They shouldn't follow other people's outlines. Now, to be fair, the coloring sheet is designed for only one color. It is pretty boring. If I was a kid, I'd be kind of bored by it too. The other problem with the art room is that Mrs. O'Neill expects children to never make any messes. That's just plain unrealistic. When paint is spilled and water gets on the floor, Mrs. O'Neill clutches her pearls in horror. A strange woman tries to break into the house. She looks just like Miss Madden. They could be twins. It's obvious that she's Miss Madden's cousin. The cousin gets mentioned a few times. But none of the babysitters are smart enough to draw the connection between the mysterious cousin and the woman who looks just like Miss Madden. Marianne finds a list of Grandmother Madden's paintings, including some of the lost ones. The list disappears. Suspicion falls upon Miss Madden's husband, because he's got a similar list. But if you think about it, it's not suspicious. He's one of the people who is handling the famous artist's estate. It makes sense for him to have a list of her paintings. Jimmy finds a cat named Goldie. His mother is stunned because that cat is in Arizona with her cousin, right? She figures, oh, it's just a coincidence that this cat has the exact same name and coloring as my cousin's. Yeah, coincidence. Claudia learns every Grandmother Madden painting is 10 inches by 10 inches. So she goes to the art museum, which has an authentic painting, and the painting is being examined by the look-alike cousin and Mr. Ogura. They even pull out a tape measurer to make sure it's 10 by 10. Really? Does the art museum let people get that close to the artwork? And what were they expecting? Were they expecting, oh, it's 9 by 9. This is a forgery. Oh! Stacy suspects a delivery man who showed up at the house in a strange outfit. The ending reveals it was actually Ms. Madden's husband. Stacy mistook him for a delivery man because he was carrying something. Oh, Stacy. The babysitters convince Mrs. O'Neill to let kids be messy and creative while doing art. Abby accidentally offends a child by comparing her art to a soccer player. Abby claims it's not her fault. She doesn't know the name of any artists in real life. Wait, Abby, what about Grandmother Madden? Haven't you been paying attention to the entire storyline with your best friends? Claudia finds the Japanese painting hidden in a trash can. Jimmy confesses he hid the painting because the textured part is chipping off. He didn't want to get in trouble. Claudia also finds a 10 by 10 painting. Ooh, it could be a Grandmother Madden painting. Mr. Ogura steals it from her and leaves as soon as her back is turned. The break in the case comes because of Stacy's nails. She painted over them more than once. What if Grandmother Madden hid her paintings by painting over them? That's how she managed to hide them. So technically this book should be called The Mystery Under the Painting, but that would spoil the ending. For whatever reason, the Japanese painting is the only one that is two paintings together. All the other hidden paintings were the artist's signature 10 by 10 size. And no one decided to double check them? You'd think the professional art appraiser would have gone over them more closely. Claudia sneaks in early on the day of the estate sale to check out her theory. She gets caught by the culprits, who also came early in order to double-cross each other. The first culprit is Miss Madden's look-alike cousin. The second culprit is Mr. Ogura. Only it's not Mr. Ogura, it's his son! He got away with impersonating his father. Even though he visited the house every single day and talked to pretty much everyone, nobody picked up on the fact that it was the wrong guy. The culprits lock Claudia in a closet. She knocks on the door until she's rescued. The police catch the culprits at the airport, and Claudia proudly explains how she solved the mystery. The end. Post-book follow-up. I had a hard time following the story in certain chapters. Claudia jumped around a lot among all these various storylines. For example, Chapter 3 has 7 distinct scenes, only 2 of which involve the child that Claudia's being paid to babysit. If the stories were juggled better, the book would be improved. My recommendation would be stretching out some of the scenes, rather than having Claudia ping-pong from character to character. On the other hand, we have multiple recap sections where the babysitters discuss the case, and that certainly helps readers follow the plot. I am glad every character gets at least one storyline. It's a far more complex plot than we usually get in this series. That's good, and it makes me willing to overlook some of the book's flaws. I also liked how Claudia had conversations with her parents. She doesn't usually talk to them. I saw 2 different reviewers complain this book is too similar to the other painting mystery in the series. We had more than one painting mystery before this book. You'll have to be more specific. Overall, there's a lot of story going on in this book. Too much story in certain places. I was a little confused about a third of the time. But hey, if the mystery series wants to continue in the direction of having 8 or 9 stories in one book, I'm not going to complain. I give Babysitters Club Mystery number 32, Claudia and the Mystery in the Painting, a 6 out of 10.